Defendant's coercive control over the plaintiff was not limited to financial manipulation and abandonment. He would hold on. What page is that? 21. Hey, Cuban, they got your picture here. Hey, Cuban, you made the papers, bye. As previously stated, Fat Joe frequently told TA that no one exits Terror Squad in one piece, a chilling phrase meant to reinforce the consequences of disloyalty or challenging his authority. The defendant repeatedly referenced what happened to former Terror Squad artist Cuban Link, who was physically assaulted and slashed across his face, leaving him with a permanent nerve damage and visible scarring. They showed Cuban before he got slashed, and then they show him after the slashing. This reference was not abstract. Fat Joe pointedly reminded TA of the physical consequences that could accompany disobedience or separation. These statements were made in the moments of a dispute or tension, particularly when TA raised issues of compensation. The message was clear. If you cross me, you'll end up like him, meaning Cuban. These threats and context served to reinforce a climate of fair submission and dependency, depriving TA of his agency and reinforcing Fat Joe's psychological dominance. These tactics were tactics that directly support TA's claim for forced labor under the TVPA and establish a factual basis for emotional distress and trauma. Forced sexual acts under duress and surveillance. Beyond coerced sexual acts, Fat Joe forced TA into repeated acts of public exhibitionism designed to degrade and exert control under the guise of loyalty tests and group bonding rituals. Defendant Fat Joe routinely orchestrated sexual coercive scenarios in which the plaintiff was compelled to engage in sexual acts with women brought to the hotel rooms following live performances, tour events, or private studio sessions. These incidents were carefully arranged by the defendant and occurred in environments fully controlled by him. In many instances, Fat Joe remained present during these encounters, watching, recording, or issuing verbal commands and commentary. So they could sound like he been hanging with Diddy too long. On one occasion in Miami after a concert, Fat Joe brought a woman back to his hotel suite. He then ordered TA to sleep with her in front of him in the group, insisting that the bathroom doors stay open and shouted, "Get your dick hard, TA." I'm sorry to laugh. This ain't funny. I don't mean to laugh. This is not funny. But can you imagine one of your homies? Yeah, pause. Can you imagine one of your homies? Yo, nigga, get your dick hard. Like, what? I'm out of there. Members of the enterprise, including JB and Pistol Pete, stood in the room, watched and laughing. Please forgive me for laughing. This is not funny. This is not funny. Members of the enterprise, including JB and Pistol Pete, stood in the room watching and laughing, with one individual remarking, "Yo, Joe, I'm not about to stand here and watch this nigga dick." Yeah. Oh. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh my God. Yo, Joe, I'm not going to stay here and watch this nigga ding ding. TA did not participate willingly. His compliance was very driven by the credible and persistent threat of retaliation, including the loss of income, removal from the tour, or public humiliation. When TA attempted to resist or assert boundaries, Fat Joe swiftly retaliated. TA's pay was withheld, his travel plans were abruptly canceled, or he was threatened with abandonment in foreign countries without access to money, shelter, or safe passage home. The tactics were designed to instill fear and enforce the defendant to control over the plaintiff's body and behavior. Roc Nation, which assumed management of Fat Joe's affairs in 2017, either knew or should have known of these repeated high-profile incidents. The events took place at branded venues, involved staff under Roc Nation supervision, and were discussed openly in touring circles. Roc Nation probably could get out of this. Like, how the hell will we know what y'all niggas is doing in closed doors? Despite this, Roc Nation took no disciplinary action, performed no internal audits, and continued to collect commission, royalties, and brand equity on Fat Joe's behalf, blah, blah, blah. We went through that already. We went through that. I'm not, like, a lot of this stuff is repetitive, so I'm not going to read everything. Then we got defendants' pattern and practice of trafficking like conduct.